Thank you, Monimita, and it's a great pleasure to see my colleagues, Ankur and others. It's a long time. I think all of us are safe, and also all of you who have come here to listen to what is it about the senior living. Uh, I don't want to. I just made a small presentation of 5 to 10 minutes. I'm trying to get it. The subject today is anytime is the right time. As the Indian senior living come of age is what Monimita told us to speak about. And that's what we're going to tell you. And when I was trying to prepare for this talk, I came across a very famous futurologist who says innovation happens when ideas have sex. Of course, sex has got different connotation, different meaning, including the Bombay stock market. But what is it the next one, please? The next one, next slide. Yeah. What is it that he's trying to tell you here is that whenever ideas meet together, it creates innovation. And we can't be lagging only thinking about the past. We have to innovate ourselves for the future. And that is so important that even this particular senior living started off sometime in 2020 years ago. All this, still the debate is on whether we are fully evolved or we have come of age. Now the answer, according to us, and what we have to say, we will walk with you. Age and retirement, is it a myth or a reality? We say that age is only a number. At the same time, when you say retired life, our mind goes to the figure of 60. It is not so. 60 is a number again, but what you want to retire at, whatever age you want to retire at, it's an individual decision. I retired from the army at 46. It is an individual decision. So if age is a number, why are we talking of an age attributed to the retirement? That's the first question you have to ask. So I'm asking this question again, and I'll come back to it later. Next. Evolution and age is also equally important. Evolution is always a continuous process of change. What we started off in 2000 is today totally changed. So many ideas came, Ankur, Adarsh, and there are so many members of Asli. They brought in a variety of components of care, home care. They excelled in number of fields of the senior living. And today we have come to a stage where we don't know whether it is senior living or it is senior care or it is senior care including living. And care has got various dimensions, technology, etc., etc. Therefore, over a period of time, we have evolved, and therefore there has been a continuous process of change. No age can ever stop an evolution. Had it been so, Darwin would have been correct. Our lifestyle, beliefs, attitudes, customs, traditions, etc., everything is changing. And changing in many ways for the better, in some may not be for the better. Next. Will COVID-19 pandemic go away? This COVID-19 brought all of us at different dimensions of care and living. We all said we should not let the virus come into our retirement communities. We evolved protocols, we sat down together, we created a number of which exchanged ideas. We said how best we can keep our residents away from this virus. And I must tell you that all of us, in our little way or a larger way or together, because no idea can exist alone. It is only when the amalgamation of ideas takes place, implementation becomes that much better. So we discussed it and then we evolved certain protocols through ASLI and that we implemented. And to be very frank with you, during the first wave, I don't think there is a single retirement community where anybody was affected by this virus. It speaks volumes because there are staff involved, there are others involved, and suddenly we also saw an exodus of people coming inside. It is safe. But the second wave taught us something else. The second wave, thanks to the Delta variant or whatever variant it is, we found that this virus can penetrate into our retirement community. But then we don't have to be so concerned, because the effect vaccinated was marginal. It is not, it just came like a cold or a fever and went away. And the number of people affected were also far less. So one thing that all of us did in all the retirement communities is, not only did we arrange the vaccine for our seniors, but we also arranged it for the staff, their spouse, their father, mother, everybody above 18, and the government, is up in Tamil Nadu and later in Karnataka, they held our hand and ensured that all of us got 2 vaccines. What it showed us is, if you have 2 vaccines, possibly the second wave will not cause that kind of a destruction that we have been seeing on the television. So that again was a good point to know. But let us ask the other question. Will this COVID pandemic go away? It's very important, because we have been suffering this for almost 1.5 years. And every time it says 1 week, 1 month, 3 days, 3 weeks, and Tamil Nadu, where I'm living in Coimbatore, it is the 4th week that we are in the so-called lockdown. Life cannot be like this. So will it go away? Schools are closed. So many things have disrupted us. Our seniors are not able to go and enjoy a beautiful movie in a theatre or a mall. The worry is always at the back. Will I get it? What about, will the pandemic go away? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take your mind only to one more very serious virus that we had, that was the HIV, AIDS. Even today, people die of AIDS, but nobody speaks about it. Nobody talks about it. And there are certain medicines that are given, but we just have accepted it. It has taken us almost 20 years to accept this. Similarly, this virus also will be there, and we will learn to live. The demand for the senior living post-COVID-19. What is it that I have seen, at least in the little bit of statistics that we could gather from the retirement communities of ours, is with longevity, thanks to our wellness, thanks to programs run by Monimita, thanks to Unmukh, thanks to everybody in Asli preaching how wellness is so important to all of us, and why we must exercise, how we must be, have nutritious food. Today, thanks to longevity, we find that the bracket of people between 61 to 80 is perhaps the largest number, and followed by people who are perhaps in 80 to 90. So the people who are about 50 are not willing to come inside, or 55, they are not moving in as we are expecting them to move. Please show me the next slide. This happens even in Mysore. If you see the gray colors ones in the bottom, it again tells you a figure which is almost nearly about 70%. And if you see the rest, you will find the people are very, very few. And of course, people about 90, 95 are very hardly any much percentage. But the next slide, please, then I'll conclude this. If you take my newer project in Coimbatore, it is also showing me the same percentage of about 65, between 61 and 80 years. And people are not willing to come in early at the age of 50 or 55, and those who come are very few. So why is it happened? Because the next slide will tell you why it has happened. Please show. This is my oldest project. Now you see how this distribution has taken place here. Here, the total number of people of the ages between 60 and 90 is almost about, I would say that 70 to 80%. So here, the population is not going away because they're living longer and staying there. The attrition rate is low because of the good life that they have and the wellness that they enjoy. But the population is an aging population, and this will happen everywhere. So what is it that we derive out of this? That after the pandemic, are we going to see a continual people coming into this, or the people who are now coming in also are those who are in the age bracket of 70 or living outside, and they feel that one of their partner is not there and they want to move in, and they find so many hassles in spite of the fact some of our colleagues who are doing this home care are doing a remarkable job of taking care of them in their respective homes. Next. Will the current demand for senior living continue forever? This is a question that we have to ask. After all, today when you see the total number of percentage of people living in a senior community of the urban population, it is less than 2%. Why is it that we keep saying that this is still evolving? Because of the variety of reasons is that this has not caught the imagination of most of the people. Because people do like their independence and freedom. And secondly, what Adarsh and Anku try to tell you, the cost of staying in a retirement community, people think is expensive. I want to tell you that it is not so. It is much cheaper. It comes in the age bracket, what others said, 25 to 40,000 rupees for a couple, which is, I think, very much very affordable. We have a lot of protocols evolved now. Now we find with the second wave, the virus is entering the senior living spaces. Is it not so happening in other houses also? Next slide, please. What is the fallout of this pandemic? We have now got a new culture called work from home or home quarters. Now, what is this home quarters or work from home? Today, I am working from home for the 4th continuous week. I have not been able to go to my office, leave alone the work site. We live here, we sleep, we cook, we eat, we study, work, etc. from home. Frankly speaking, the space in case for a couple and the children or somebody is staying or a parent is staying in that house, the space is getting premium. One of the reasons for many of us falling very sick inside this particular space that we live in is that we don't have an escape to the outside world, as is provided by the retirement communities that we are talking of. And this itself is a big psychological issue. Next is, we also need the optimal and functional homes. And that please includes people of all ages. Let us not differentiate between the younger generation who is below 60 and the seniors who are above 60, or what we call as the normal real estate below 60, abnormal real estate is above 60. I don't think that is correct, because today we also are living longer, and therefore we have to be included in this overall melee lifestyle. The younger generation today, what you see them are wanderers. They don't like physical possession. They don't want to own anything. They are like nomads that our ancestors came from. The elders also get lonely with age, so they are looking for companionship of various kind, about which we are, Moni, you have also conducted programs here. Do elders need only peace and solitude, or should they enjoy life also? With longevity, why not? If all of us, the three of us was sitting here, are trying to make life comfortable, physically fit, mentally alert, they're letting you have that freedom and independence, I think we need to enjoy life and feel young. We don't have to say sit at home and only look at peace and solitude. Would younger generation also enjoy the same services that you offer to the elders? My answer is yes. Especially in these days of the post-pandemic, when work from home is going to happen, your children may also be there in the house. The services that you are not able to get, and there's so many worries about, so many protocols not being followed, I think the younger generation will also enjoy the services. I would like to tell you one difference I find here is services will have to be selective. It cannot be of everyone you take everything together. Next. So where are we heading to? I think the world is going to see a change in our lifestyle. That is what I read books. I also see some the outside world. I think we are getting into what I call as the multi-generational living quarters.
perhaps time has come for us to look at this, that the senior living should be part and parcel of the multi-generation. The care component of the seniors, including assisted, memory, palliative, etc., should be handled by specialized people, like there are many today in our country. They are part of ASLI. They do only care. And the rest should be an intergenerational or a generational mix of people with spaces designed so that you can live in it or you can go out of it, and it can suit me and my wife and my daughter, and or it can suit somebody who is alone. And with that, I just want to end this particular talk of mine. I always felt when we created this particular model, we have to create to compete. It is the competition which came after 2000 which has made us improve the services and care component and think about the future. Introduction of technology, variety of hidden or which is not hidden technologies. These things came because of competition. But one thing is, you will have to create to be ahead of the competition. So in that respect, I just want to quote the same gentleman called Magnus Renbech. He's from Sweden. He's a futurologist. He says, good companies go bad since generally they do the same thing for too long. And then he argues why success is toxic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. But I can tell you one thing. Today, what I see of the senior living, it has evolved, or it is perhaps, it has reached a wonderful stage of evolution. It will continue to evolve. Is far, far better than what we started in the year of the Lord 2004. And the best part is, I see younger brains coming into this field. The two are in front of you, and there are many more like them who are working day and night. So many startups, so many things are happening in this segment. I think, when I reach 80 from 72 presently, I will be much, much better off with all these things coming in. Thank you very much.